Hello, greetings everyone. My name is John Kountouris. I am a Greek-American journalist, and I have a special report for you. Today we have the 19th of November 2016. The time is 5:10 p.m. here in Los Angeles. This video is going to be brief, and it's going to cover the elections and Donald Trump. It's going to cover things that the mainstream news media, of course, hasn't told you about him. It's also going to cover things that the conservative, or rather pseudo-conservative, mainstream news media will not cover about him, with regards to his past, with regards to his connection with a lot of shady figures, including, of course, the Jewish mafia. We're talking about things that, of course, Alex Jones won't cover. Mr. Alex Jones from Austin, Texas, who for years has said that both the Democrats and the Republicans, this two-party system, is absolutely corrupt, and so on and so forth. This is an article that I made on YouTube in a YouTube Lives Mentioned broadcast, and it's kind of large, and it's a little bit uncut. So I may upload the whole thing, but what I'm going to show you on the screen now, basically, is the article itself. And within the body of the article, I've embedded that YouTube video so that you can watch it there, but I'm referring to it here in this video because, you know, basically, this is going to be basically a short video, and I don't want to put the whole clip here because it's just too laborious, and you need a really fast internet connection, and so on and so forth. So take a look on the screen first. Okay, you just saw the title, GreekNewsOnDemand.com. That's a special report, Donald Trump exposed, Illuminati, 666, Freemasons, New World Order, Jewish Mafia, Zionist Jews, and much, much, much more. So, I've got it all recorded there. Everything that you need to know about Donald Trump that the mainstream news media hasn't told you, that the pseudo-conservative sites haven't told you, that Alex Jones has not told you, it is all there. Now, everyone knows about this stuff. For example, it's been a known fact for years that Donald Trump has been connected with the mob, particularly, of course, the Jewish Mafia, but also, of course, with the Italian Mafia. Now, the Italian Mafia is zero, does not even compare, of course, with the Jewish Mafia. The Jewish Mafia has always been the most powerful, deadly, lethal threat in this country for years. And, of course, back in 2011, Julian Assange himself came out with a huge leak that he tried to give all the mainstream news media outlets, that he tried to give all the major newspapers in America. No one wanted to touch it. Of course, what happened with Mr. Alex Jones? I thought he liked Julian Assange. Not even Alex Jones touched it. So, he broke the story on some huge Arab channel. I don't know if it was Al Jazeera or some other one. Anyway, you can find it. Just go to YouTube and type in WikiLeaks, Israel, Promised Land for Organized Crime, ? That was the name, basically, of the memo they leaked. It was a memo straight from the U.S. Embassy of Tel Aviv that warned all of America, basically, of the threat of the Jewish Mafia. Now, the Jewish Mafia, of course, is composed of all the rich, powerful elites, starting from the Rothschilds, trickling down, of course, to all the local Jewish organizations, along with Jewish political action committees, Jewish hackers on the internet, spies on the internet, that basically Israel has hired to spy on us, to bully us on the internet, particularly, of course, people that speak out against Israel and its crimes, and so on and so forth. Of course, these are the people that carried out 9/11, and so on and so forth. It's a long issue. For the best documentary on 9/11, and of course, the Jewish role that was played in that, see Missing Links. Go to YouTube, type in Missing Links, #1 top documentary that my friends made. So they are to be commended for that. We got all the facts. So basically, I made this long title to basically, for a little shock value, let's say, but it's all real. I mean, Illuminati, Donald Trump is 100% Illuminati. Going around doing this all the time, the 666 sign. Hello. It's not just that, though. His whole life is revolving around the 666. The Trump Tower is 666 feet high. Donald Trump stays in a very exclusive suite on the 66th floor. The address is 666 Trump Fifth Avenue, something like that. You'll find it all there in my report. It's long, it's extensive. So, I mentioned Freemasons. Donald Trump, of course, is connected with the Freemasons. For example, in the first debate, he talked about how he belongs to this huge police organization, and it's a Freemasonic police organization. New World Order, of course, Donald Trump, in that big gala that he was at a few weeks ago with Hillary Clinton, which was not a joke. They just didn't go there to roast each other, boys and girls. They went there to take their orders from the Jesuits. But in that roast, of course, Henry Kissinger was there, who's a Jew. He's not a Jesuit Catholic. But of course, if you really know the history of the Jesuits, you'll find out that they're all crypto Jews. So he goes there and he starts a speech. And in the end of the speech, Trump says, well, we can't basically ignore the rest of the world because we're all one big universal community, basically, is what he said. He was hinting at us being or working toward a new world order. You'll see it all in that report. Jewish Mafia, Donald Trump from day one has been connected with the Jewish Mafia. Roy Cohn was his mentor. Roy Cohn used to be the head of the Jewish Mafia here in America. The guy before that was Meyer Lansky, if you really know your history. Zionist Jews. Trump is not a Mr. America First. He's a Mr. Israel First. And the first guest he's going to have in the White House, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be none other than Benjamin Netanyahu, the butcher, the arch-terrorist, the enemy of all mankind. Okay? So, Donald Trump was prepped and put in by the Illuminati. That is now a fact with all the evidence that we have. He was set up and put there to now take America into the next phase of the New World Order. So, we need to really wake up to this reality and start doing our homework, start doing real research, and start getting this word out because, it's a sad situation when you see all those people in the streets protesting that they want to get rid of him. On the one hand, they're right. Donald Trump is a tyrant, is, a fascist, and this and that, blah, 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 and everything else. Okay? But on the other hand, they don't realize that Hillary Clinton is just the same. As a matter of fact, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton have been longtime friends. As a matter of fact, and as you'll see in my video, it was Hillary Clinton's campaign back in April of 2015 that prepped Donald Trump to be the candidate for the Republicans. Yes, you heard that correctly. We now have the WikiLeaks talking about that, how Hillary Clinton wanted to make him her Pied Piper candidate on the Republican side. Donald Trump is an agent of the Clintons. End of story. Bill Clinton and Donald Trump talked on the phone in May of last year, about a month after that WikiLeaks, about a month after that memo, that internal memo from the Clinton campaign that stated that they wanted to make Donald Trump the Pied Piper candidate, which was leaked to us by WikiLeaks. So a month later, Bill Clinton and Donald Trump called each other and they discussed politics, but they won't get into details. But oddly enough, a few weeks later, Donald Trump decides to run for president. Gee, isn't that interesting? Now, the whole system is rigged, it's fixed. So, stop, arguing, whether Trump or Clinton is good for this country. Okay? That's all garbage, that's all BS. They all belong to the same New World Order, Illuminati network that basically controls all of, at least Western society, and it's working to create a one world government and a new world order. Now, there's also a few articles here that I want to point out to you that prove all of this, okay? So, what I'm going to do, basically, is go over a few of these, and you'll get a taste, basically, of, what I mean. So the first thing I want to point out is an article that I wrote with the title, WikiLeaks Bombshell, There Is No U.S. Election. WikiLeaks Bombshell, There Is No U.S. Election. So basically, it was October 20th this year that WikiLeaks leaked to us, yet again, another huge revelation, stating there are no U.S. elections. There's nothing more than something called a power consolidation on the part, basically, of the elite that rule this country. Each successive president, that's exactly what he does. He just consolidates power for himself. The previous president just passes on power to him. There is, in other words, no real U.S. election whereby we, or the Electoral College really, elects anyone. That's really what they're getting at here. That's really what they're stating to us. And here is the proof that this is the case. Because remember, it was Roosevelt who said presidents are not elected, they are selected. Okay? Selected. WikiLeaks bombshell, there is no U.S. election. Read that article. So in it, I refer to WikiLeaks, who refers to emails from John Podesta, who in October of 2008 was discussing the fact that Bush at the time was already preparing to hand over power to Obama, and the elections hadn't even happened yet. The elections would take place about 3 weeks later. They were referring to him in these emails already as President-elect Obama. If that tells you something. Bush already had a whole economic team or plan set up for him with John Paulson. Okay? So, you'll see all the facts there through WikiLeaks. Now, I want to run down this list really quick of key articles, and we're going to close out this video, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about me and what I do. Alrighty, so basically the first article is Anti-Establishment Trump plans to appoint Goldman Sachs and George Soros insiders. Yes, it's true. Already back in May, or actually March of this year, Trump had hired onto his economic team a guy by the name of Steve Mnuchin, a former longtime Goldman Sachs banker and associate of George Soros. So don't give me this BS, Soros is trying to attack Trump. No, he's not. They're in bed together. They're playing a big game before your eyes. I mean, did you not even see this? How is it that Donald Trump has a guy right now who apparently, according to reports, he's about to make or declare that he's going to become his new head of the Treasury Department? How is it that Donald Trump hires this guy, knowing very well that this guy goes against his own apparent political stances? In other words, Donald Trump throughout the campaign has been lambasting the big bankers, but he's going to hire someone from Goldman Sachs. Not only that, how is it that he's going to hire someone too that's associated with George Soros when he's been speaking against George Soros? Doesn't this make sense to anyone? I mean, are you really reading the news? Are you seeing what's going on? Donald Trump is going to hire someone from Goldman Sachs and who's also associated with George Soros. Do you not see the contradiction here? Do you not see how they're playing a big game before our eyes? Give me a break. Next article, Donald Trump wrote in 1999 about Osama bin Laden attacking New York in a terrorist attack. Donald Trump wrote that in a book of his, which was published in November 2000. Okay? He predicted it all. Gee, how did he know all that stuff? Well, I got news for you. He's associated with Larry Silverstein. He's his friend. Larry Silverstein is the former owner of the Twin Towers. Larry Silverstein is implicated in 9/11. All you 9/11 truthers know that, and Donald Trump is his good friend. So how did Donald Trump know back then that 9/11 would occur, huh?
I see what's happening down there. It's a mess. And the developer is actually a friend of mine, but he didn't want to build this building either. If you look back at the records, I mean, when it was first foisted upon him, Larry Silverstein is a great guy. He's a good guy. He's a friend of mine, but he didn't want to build this pile of junk.
Donald Trump, next article. How Rothschild Incorporated Bank saved Donald Trump. Read that article. How Rothschild Incorporated saved Donald Trump. Donald Trump, all his life, has been taking bailouts from the Rothschilds. End of story. He's taken a bailout directly from, he started taking bailouts directly from the Rothschilds in the late 80s when his casino started started falling apart economically because he didn't know how to manage them. Okay? Now, when Donald Trump assumed Resorts International in Vegas, okay? This is in the early 80s. Right on the early mid-80s. This used to belong to the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers. Hello? Hello? This hotel chain used to belong to the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers. And it was basically run as a front company for them by the Israeli Mossad and the CIA. Spotlight magazine in 1978 came out with a report about that. So, just check out that article. Let's get on here. Is Donald Trump really a liberal? Yes, he is. For years, he's been talking about he's really a Democrat. He's friends with the Clintons. Bill Clinton was a great president, this, that, blah, blah, blah. And yet throughout the campaign, he's been blasting the Clintons. Give me a break. Next article, is Donald Trump an agent of the Clintons? Yes, he is. Read the article. There's a freedom of information request that was imposed on the Bill Clinton William Jefferson Library, ordering it to hand over photos, archives of photos, that show a long-term relationship, age-long relationship between Trump and the Clintons. Okay? Donald Trump, too, by the way, is friends with Jeffrey Epstein, the big pedophile, the big billionaire Jew pedophile. And there's much more to that story, so don't give me this BS that, oh, Donald Trump has nothing to do with him. Excuse me, have you really even studied about what's going on? First of all, Donald Trump's name was found on his little black book. Do you hear Alex Jones or anyone talking about this? That is a fact. Google it. Donald Trump's name was found on Jeffrey Epstein's little black book. Gee, what did that little black book have to do with? WikiLeaks bombshell, next article. WikiLeaks bombshell. Trump is used by the Hillary campaign from day one. That's what I referred to earlier. Trump was hired on by Hillary Clinton to be basically her opponent in the elections. They're best friends. They chummed it up recently at that Jesuit gala, and they all laughed, and they showed us their true colors, and you guys basically couldn't get wind of it. You guys couldn't understand what was going on. They were laughing in your face. Do you understand? Okay, that wasn't just a roast. They were there to freaking roast you and me in this whole country because they're part of the same team. Donald Trump controlled by the Mossad. Donald Trump has long-term relationships, like I said before, with the Jewish mafia. The Israeli Mossad is the Jewish mafia. You know, so end of story. Just read the article. I mean, you'll see how he has associations with Jeffrey Epstein and his associates that are associated with the Israeli Mossad. And there's a lot more, too, about Donald Trump and his pedophile connections. Next article, the top 10 Donald Trump 666 connections, which is what I referred to earlier. You're going to freak out when you read this because you're going to see that basically Donald Trump, his whole life, all of what he attempts to, let's say, portray about himself through symbology is reflected through this number. So as I was telling you before, the Trump Fifth Avenue property, the famous Trump Tower, right, is 203 meters high, okay? But that is equivalent to 666, okay, 666 feet. Also, the Trump family is in the process of purchasing a $666 million tower at One Journal Square in New York. According to multiple reports, the height will be 666 feet high. The Trump family bought the most expensive single building ever purchased in the United States at 666 Fifth Avenue, a street symbolic for money and hubris. Donald John Drumpf. Remember, Donald Trump's real name is Drumpf. The English version is just Trump, but it's German. Drumpf. D-R-U-M-P-F. So his full real name, Donald John Drumpf, in American ASCI2 computer code is 666. It comes out to 666. Anyway, research that stuff for yourself. See basically the video that I referred to earlier. And it's all there. And the last article is basically the one that I referred to in the beginning that contains all of this stuff. So basically, a little bit about me. I am a Greek journalist. I was born and raised, of course, in America. I appear on Greek TV, both here in the United States and in Greece. Here in the United States, I appear on the biggest Greek TV channel in all of North America, Channel 48 out of Florida. And on one of their shows, I appear as a regular guest. It's called Greek Voice with Angelos Angelatos. There we host celebrities, dignitaries, you name it. I also appear on the biggest Greek radio network worldwide. It's called Halas FM out of New York. I appear on various Greek TV channels in Greece. I also write for a mainstream newspaper in Greece. I'm very well known in Greek communities here in the United States and in Greece. And of course, I have my news blog, GreekNewsOnDemand.com. That's one word, GreekNewsOnDemand.com. To find out more about me and what I do, visit my personal website, JohnKountouris.com. That's spelled Johnkountouris. Koun as in Nancy, T as in Tom, Ouris.com. There you'll find out more about me. I've written 2 major books on Greece, its history, its language, the fall of the Greek Byzantine Empire, the demise of modern Greek culture. I've written about the Greek military junta. I've written about, of course, the Greek economic crisis that's been going on for 6 years. I got all the facts on that, and I am part of a team of journalists, researchers, Greek government officials, and Greek intelligence officials that have all the facts on this. There's not a better source on the subject than me and my team. So, if you want advice, basically, or information about what has really gone on in Greece, you can consult us. You can contact us on GreekNewsOnDemand.com in our contact page. And send me requests anytime for interviews. I'm open to that. I am the English voice of the team because I'm the only one really that speaks English. Because most of these people are Greek, and they, of course, they live in Greece. All of them are Greek, actually, and live in Greece, and very few of them speak English well enough to communicate. But that's pretty much it for now. I'm John Kountouris. Visit GreekNewsOnDemand.com. Stay tuned with us for more updates. And before I leave you, there is one quick breaking piece of news. There is one elector out of Michigan, of the Electoral College, who is claiming now that Hillary Clinton's team is threatening him, basically. Threatening to kill him if he doesn't change his vote for Hillary Clinton. That's what's coming down the pike right now, okay? Now, you know, if you really want to basically believe all that, then, you know, do your research and study up on all that kind of stuff. But as I've demonstrated within this video, that both Hillary and Trump are working together, and all of this is nothing more than a big sideshow. So my goal really is to wake up people to what's really going on behind the scenes, and to basically look beyond all the surface crap, because it's all meant to brainwash us and to misguide us and send us in the wrong direction. And the reality is, presidents are not elected, they're selected, because they all belong to the same clique. And Obama said that, by the way, and I'll leave you with this. In the speech he gave about Donald Trump's win, it was the day after the elections, when he said, let's give Trump a chance, because in the end of the day, we're all part of the same team. Did you catch that? Really? Gee, I thought Democrats and Republicans hated each other and were at each other's throat, etc., etc. Did you catch that? Did you get that? That's what you need to tell all those poor people out there going crazy and protesting in the streets. This is John Kountouris signing out. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.